No matter how much you try to deny this, but it is true that self-awareness without action is only self-indulgence. I've said it. The thing is, we think that we're being hyper aware and we're just bumping ourselves a notch. We're going above and beyond when it comes to self awareness, and it's a good thing. But the thing is it actually a good thing? We've been force feed this trap that self being too self-aware is pretty good, that you can analyze people, or you can analyze your own shortcomings, whenever you're self-aware you can literally just iterate yourself, change the courses of action, and change your identity, quantum leaping. But the thing is, once we're self-aware, it's more than a curse than a blessing for most people, because most people don't take action. Th- There would be a point in your time where you're like, shit, why am I stuck in a rut? And then you literally go deep inside of you and you analyze, and you come up to a conclusion that, wait, and you become aware of this, that you lack the discipline. Okay, why do I lack the discipline? Then you go deeper, and then again you're being aware of your own self, of your own demons that you have inside of you, right? Of the your own enemy that you have within. So you go in deeper and you analyze that, oh, there are triggers, and some triggers are actually forcing me to stay stuck in this habit. And while you're being too aware, which seems like it's a good thing, the thing is you are actually just going down and digging yourself a grave. Why? Because you're just thinking about the problems that you have. Each step that you figure out from this self-awareness journey, you just encounter problems, mistakes, and shortcomings of your own self. Because tell me, when was the last time you were hyper aware, too aware of your own self or of your own strengths? Tell me. We think that being too aware of our own self means being too aware of our bad traits and our bad patterns, of our worst habits. This is what we think it is all about. But when was the last time you were actually aware of your own positive traits, of the specific kind acts that you do with strangers, almost involuntarily, and how you're naturally a really good listener? Have you been aware of that? So this is my first problem with self awareness in general. People are like people are like too self aware, but they lack the action taking ability. So they just tend to first of all ruin their own self image by thinking that they're not good enough, which in turns make them feel even miserable, and then they cannot even take an action after that because they're feeling miserable, and they're guilt ridden. They have this pressure of guilt and weird feeling in their chest. So they're like, well, I cannot do anything. They've become so hopeless that they tend to just give up. This is the reality for most people. And for the other person, let's say there's another person who is super aware of themselves, but they don't take any action to change their situation. So they're like stuck with their ex, and they're like crying about her. But how do they fix him? How does this person fix it? He's not taking any action. He's just being self-aware that, oh, you know, she was right. Like I don't really pay too much attention. Like I'm not present with her, and she was right about that. And they're beating themselves up because of this. And this guy is literally not taking any action to improve what he's been aware of. Instead, he's making it a source of becoming an even more intense victim, if it makes any sense. So this is the second problem with being self-aware. You're too self-aware. You know exactly what your problems are. And the thing is, you're so much focused on the problems itself. The first category is that the people just tend to give up. And the second is that they're not even moved by the decision that they need to actually take a step to change their behavior. Instead, they're taking so many steps to dive in even deeper. Like, what else could be my mistake? Like, what else can I change? Can I be more aware of myself? How can I change? How can I know more of my shortcomings just so I can change in the future? But they're not gonna change at any time. Never. This is the negative loop that they're stuck in, and they don't even realize that they're stuck in it. Can you imagine? People are stuck in this trap thinking that if they become a little more aware, a little more self-aware, then they can take the action. But they're just stuck in this self-indulgence because they cannot take action. Because being too self-aware is the trap, is what leads them to chase more awareness, more self-awareness, and not actually go on to actually fix the mistake that they have realized from the self-awareness that they can fix. I know it's a bit complex to explain, but I hopefully you get the point, and hopefully you drop the act of being too self-aware, or being, oh, let me just become a little more self-aware. My girlfriend told me to become more self-aware. Dude, you need to become a more of a fixer. Like, you need to fix. You've diagnosed the problems enough. You don't go to a doctor and say, okay, you know what, you've given me an X-ray of my broken bone. But I want to dive in deeper, like have more scans of my body. You don't go like this. You go to a surgeon and say, fix my bone. Like, I need it fixed. I've already diagnosed the problem, so now it's time to fix. You don't go to like 10 different doctors and take away like 10 multiple X-rays after X-rays, and just being stuck in the loop of asking for more diagnosis. Nobody does that, and it sounds absurd when I say it like this, but this is true. This is what most of you are doing. Literally, you're getting yourself stuck in this diagnosis, but not really going into the surgery, like the operation room, operation theater. You've diagnosed enough. It's time to fix the problem. Do better.